Welcome to the In My Opinion Show with Ronald Robinson and friends. With us we have my co-hosts, Mr. Denise Smith-Allen, Mr. Henry Hatter, and Mrs. Jackie Williams. Welcome to the In My Opinion Show.
Thank you.
And to our millions of viewers worldwide, welcome. I want to thank also our friends at allpointstv.com and davidsontalknetwork.com. Let's talk about Planned Parenthood. Do we defend it or shut it down, or do we shut down the country? Just because the Republicans and religious right say so. All women should have the right to make their choice. Planned Parenthood goes much further than abortions. There are millions of women that have been and continue to be served by Planned Parenthood. Denise, what's your thoughts?
Wow. Well, again, I always like to look at things from a historical perspective and then try to bring it up to date to what's going on currently. Now, again, this is a fact check situation, so if you all on the panel may want to dispute anything that I'm about to say, please jump in. But Planned Parenthood, from my understanding, was a organization that evolved about eugenics, which is basically about control of the population, or making sure that certain individuals did not overpopulate. And I think at that standpoint, there were concerns about maybe minorities or children that may be born that may have had some problems, deformities, and things of that nature. So there was an issue there. And I think that those kinds of things were brought to bear, and it had maybe a negative connotation about Planned Parenthood in the beginning. But fast forward, Planned Parenthood, I think, has been very instrumental not only in helping women deal with choices, but they've also helped them in terms of examinations, breast cancer awareness, and all of that kind of thing. So I think that, again, when you're looking at from a political standpoint, what is the issue? Is it an issue of control of women's right to reproductive protection, or is it a question of, is it a financial thing that they're concerned about? When you hear the concerns, and there's also a religious standpoint that people have utilized as a reason to maybe stall or change the way Planned Parenthood operates or want to shut it down. So there's various components, but again, I don't necessarily have a position about it. I'm just aware of the different nuances of what Planned Parenthood offers.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, in my opinion, religion goes too far. Mm-hmm. Okay, with with this control of women. Mm-hmm. I don't go to church that often, but the churches that I've been to, it's changing drastically. Mm-hmm. Okay, but who put man in charge of everything? All right, I'd love to see more women in the church. All right, and not just sitting in the pews, but up at the up at the altar, or whatever you call it, the pulpit. Okay, because they do a miraculous job. All right, and other than playing nursemaid, up and down the aisles, okay, be more active and involved, okay, in the administration of the church, okay.
Well, you say you don't go to church much, so obviously you haven't seen that there has been a change in that area. There are a lot more women who are involved in the pulpit and administratively as well.
Good. I'm glad to see that.
In the Catholic Church too.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But as for Planned Parenthood, I think what the issue is, it is a control issue, and I think it's a financial issue, because I think what has gone is that they see the one factor that they do provide abortions, but they also provide so much more. They provide education. They educate our young people. They can go there and get protection. They also can go there and get answers and they can get all kinds of services at a reduced cost, and so we're not bringing children that they're not able to afford at a young age. So it is helping in so many different areas, but also it's a control thing, because if these services are not being used by us or the people who want to remove them, they don't feel as though they're important. But they're very important, because these offices are all over the United States. But I was surprised that I heard some other governors that have defunded Planned Parenthood in their states already. And what this is doing is going back to that history, back to the illegal abortions.
Right.
Because now you're causing people to make choices that are not smart. So now you have the illegal abortions where people who have just enough knowledge to possibly hurt you, to help give you an answer when you're desperate, and not the right answer per se. So you're causing people not to make very good choices, because you're thinking that this is a monetary, and your choice or your religious view is starting to reflect on everybody else. And I thought this was the United States, where we had our own views and we had our own rights. And again, as much as I respect the men on this panel, you guys can't carry a baby full term, and you don't understand what a woman goes through. This is the closest to death she will ever come, having a baby. Her body changes, and they're finding so many other problems that go with the postpartum and the depression. And if you don't have the monetary value, the money to take care of stuff, the stress sets in and the bad choices and all of this. So we have to look past just defunding Planned Parenthood. We have to look at what is going to set us up for. And what's going to come after that.
That's a good point, Jackie.
Exactly.
You know, both Jackie, the both of you ladies have done a very good job in articulating a point of view that the rest of the population need to be educated on. And I like yours particularly, where you said, let's go back and look at this historically and find out what caused this frenzy that's going on today. And most of us don't know beans about it. It started back in the 70s under the guise of population control. People thought that, well, they had taken a look at the population that projected that we would have 11 billion people by the end of this century, 21st century. We now have 6 billion, and that population, it was still growing. Resources are declining. Somebody has to be concerned about it. So they thought, well, maybe we should educate people. And we see a lot of unwanted children, a lot of unwanted births from either rapes or from unwanted pregnancies. So we'll create this organization to educate people to reduce their numbers if that's what they want to do. I thought they did a pretty good job in doing that, both in the United States and around the world. China has a 0 population growth. The United States has a little over 1. I believe that's still the population, but the United States was down to 0 too. It is 0 for whites in this country. But it was a good reason. But then other issues popped up into this and infused, like abortions. And abortion has been the albatross within Planned Parenthood. And Planned Parenthood should clean that up. In Iran, there are as many Republican women who believe the same way as Democrat women. The same issues. There are Republican women that don't like Planned Parenthood, and they have the same issues as all other women do. So we can't separate them that way. And there are men who believe in abortions. They don't want to take care of the kids or for whatever reason. And they are also encouraging this whole process to move. But the probably the most atrocious thing about Planned Parenthood is selling organs from unborn children. The preparation to do that, to mine these organs. That's what's ugly. And even I don't like that.
You're listening to that
No,
presidential candidate,
no,
Prior, or whatever her name is,
no.
which was a lie. She told a
No.
lie.
Would you please do just a little bit more investigation?
Yeah, we always want to fact check.
Yeah, you want to fact check. Because that is what's ugly. We don't want to kill babies, and we don't want to have babies so they could be mined. And the government would do whatever strong people in the government says that it should be doing. And we have to keep those kind of things in check. I agree with you on Planned Parenthood. And Planned Parenthood should not be the reason why the government shuts down. It's got to be a financial reason. It's got to protect us all. Planned Parenthood doesn't affect us all. Only a very small group of people, but one of the most innocuous. I mean, the great problems that we face today, politically. And it's only about a small segment of the population. But it's monopolizing our thoughts and our money. So I don't think it's something that can't be undone. But we just have to get the facts out. And you brought up the most important fact. It was initially designed to control populations.
But why did they bring it up in an election year?
Well, because it's a political fireball. You know, we don't cotton to issues like Social Security, health care, foreign policy, and stuff like that. We would rather listen to things on race, gender, wealth, and other types of issues that spark your anger.
And the way I see it too, things are spoken in code. And so for the most part, when you think of Planned Parenthood, who do you think about?
But
I tell you who you think about. You think about minorities.
Minorities.
yeah,
Okay,
Exactly.
but
Yeah.
who uses this more than we? Minorities. No, it
Right.
it's the majority population, but they put the spin on it. So as it becomes a volatile
yeah,
political issue,
that's right.
and it becomes a divisive thing. So that's the thing, and we have to always listen
course.
with that ear of analyzing. You know, what is being said? Why are they saying this way? You know, and particularly with this is a hot button issue.
Sure.
And it is that reason, and it's because, like I said, it's code.
Of course it is. And you know what angers me is the fact that why is it always, why are they always picking on the minorities? You know what I mean? It's just it just boggles my mind. All right.
That
I'm
used
about
to
sick
be
of
a worse case than it is today.
it. Because if they
In the
do,
old days, when our country was still had a big bias in it, that was when it was prominent. But it's not quite as prominent as it is now because, as Denise has said, the majority population uses this and benefits from it.
because if they are successful, which I don't believe they will be, I pray that they don't. But then what's next? Roe versus Wade. There'll be one to overturn that.
Well, see, Jackie mentioned it. She just said, we would go back to, people going to back alleys and doing some egregious things because they're desperate.
Yeah.
And so we don't want that to be. Okay, so again, we have to always, when these issues are talked about, we also have to filter it and see for what it is, and then we have to help explain it to those who may have it misunderstood in some capacity. We have to help them understand.
Yeah, that was a
Absolutely.
strong point by Jackie when she said go back to back alleys and start inducing the exciting kids.
Yeah.
You know,
Horrible.
things like that. We don't want to go back there.
Of course. Let's talk about Donald Trump. Ignorant, despicable, no substance, women hater, divider. This man is not fit to govern the United States, period. Henry, would you like to tackle
Yes,
that one?
I would. Ron, I would say, and Jack and Denise, that Donald Trump has made the country better. He has opened up the eyes of minorities in many, many ways. Minorities can see the difference between Republicans and Democrats. in the past they could only see Democrats, and that was not the way minorities was going to rise to the next platform. You got to see in all directions. You got to support some directions at one time and support the others and the other. Donald Trump has pointed out how vulnerable Republicans are, and he's also pointed out how vulnerable Democrats are for the same reason. And all Republicans don't like all Republicans. There are times that they fight like cats and dogs. But and that's kind of good because our freedoms are based on people who contest these issues from time to time, not only between Democrats and Republicans or between black and whites, but this is what keeps us free. And Donald Trump has come out, and it used to be that Donald Trump maybe thought that women were privileged people, and he challenged them, and nobody was challenged more than Mrs. Clinton was, and of course he also challenged our Florina, I think, but in the past they have been considered untouchables. There were many men who would think that they were weaklings. But now that they get the criticism and they can take a blow and give one, they're equals.
But that doesn't give him a right to inflame the nation?
But he's not inflaming the nation. This is a fight for the survival of the alpha person who rises to become president of the United States. You cannot have a weakling in that position.
But you also can't have a bully.
Well,
He's a bully.
How is he a bully?
He's a bully because he called out Clinton and said, I came to your wedding, I made you come to my wedding. You know, he's just like pulling stuff out.
But is that a bully?
Yes, he's a bully. Because he's just ticking off each person. He just pick off who he wants to attack.
Did Mrs. Clinton say he was a bully? Did Mrs. Florina say?
Jackie said he's a bully.
Jackie who?
Williams.
Oh, you?
Yes.
Okay, but I'm sorry. Okay. But you got to be in a position of people who is in the same arena to fight. It's like being in an arena where you fight. And if you thought he was a bully, you'd run away. But the other women who are really prepared to deal with Trump stay in the arena and fight. And human beings, as a matter of fact, do not like weaklings.
I don't like weaklings, but I also don't like people who are very disrespectful. He's very disrespectful. And this is the highest job. You know, this is one of the most prestigious jobs. So everybody is looking at us. Mm-hmm. So do we want somebody in there when they ask him a real question, he can't answer it. All he can do is do cheap shots at people and attack. But when they ask him a real question of how you will handle stuff, or I'll get people to surround me that know, but I would
and he's right.
I prefer you to know.
No.
I prefer you to know.
He's not in a position to know everything, nor should he.
Nor should he.
The thing that I see more prevalent than anything else about his candidacy is that it's speaking to the fact that people are angry with politics as usual. Mm-hmm. That's all this is saying. There are people who are coming out to hear him with his rhetorical responses and his nonsense that comes out of his mouth. They're just angry, and it's a show. They come to hear the show. They listen for, it's comic relief to me. When I listen to him, he has no substance, and we know he doesn't have any substance in this because he's not really interested in the position. Not really. He's just trying to galvanize people to figure out this thing is broken. American politics is broken, and they need to figure out how to fix it.
And this is what I said initially, that Donald Trump has made Republicans better. Mm-hmm. Because now they don't hide behind political correctness. Mm-hmm. They come out and they say, we got a problem with immigration. We got a problem with, what is some of the other, with racism.
All right.
But they never touched any of the issues that are important to American people because the politics of the country won't let them move that way. They stay focused on volatile issues that separate people rather than unite them. That's race, gender, and religion.
And money.
And money.
Don't forget that.
Right.
Okay.
But I appreciate your remark. But I think that he, like Denise says, he's doing something that has not been done that needs to be done. Purge the process and bring out people who's going to tell you the truth and make Republicans better.
Let's talk about the third most powerful man in the U.S. government, John Boehner, Speaker of the House. Did you see him up there crying like a little punk?
He was emotional. What do you say?
You know, every time I see him, he's crying.
When you cried too, you did the job he did.
Yeah, he's about to have a breakdown. This is why he's out of there. He's about to leave, or he has left. He put in his
You see how
resignation.
he's smiling now? He's the happiest man
Yeah,
alive.
he's been dealing with this stuff.
I mean, he's nothing but incompetent and a crybaby. You know what I mean?
And he understands that's why he's smiling.
That's
he's
right.
so
He
glad
said-
to pass the torch.
Yeah.
He is so glad.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have beat up on that. There's nothing I can say about John Boehner.
What? The third most powerful man in the U.S. government, right? What do you think these other nations are saying? Okay, isn't that the first time he cried like a little punk? You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
You know,
okay.
but what do you think that these other governments are thinking? Oh my God! All right, what's going on in America?
Republicans were glad to get rid of him too.
You know?
Yeah, but when you say that, I have to speak to the fact that globally, if you look at other countries, they do a far worse job in some of their congresses and things like that. Have you seen them where they're in there actually fist fighting?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
You know what I'm
The
saying?
parliament is a good one.
You know?
Oh my God, they're hilarious.
Yeah.
They're hilarious. So here he is, the third man.
But that's
And-
manly fighting, crying like a little baby.
No. Them folks
You
was
know what I mean?
throwing stuff.
You
and
go to
everything
jail
else.
for striking a person here in this Congress.
Yeah. But so what? He's emotional because, like I said, he has had to deal with all kind of hate.
History. I mean, he
He
has
got
had
to deal with it.
the history that they have made history. This Congress have made history. They said they are dealing with the worst Congress in the history. That their whole thing is to destroy Obama, is to combat anything that is not a part of their agenda. So they're fighting within party lines. And they said that where they're upset with him is because he has had to call on Democrats to even get his bills passed, to get his votes, because he couldn't even get his own team to rally up with him. But what they said on the news last night was the new person that's coming in is going to have the same battle because the people haven't changed. They still have the same agenda. They're not trying to work together. They want to destroy the last year of Obama, so they don't want him to have any success stories, which he already have, regardless to what everybody thinks.
How can you destroy Obama and his history, his legacy is already made?
Exactly.
How can
exactly.
you?
Because they're trying to do their
And
job.
if he wants a third term, he could probably get it.
Of course. I believe that.
Yeah,
I believe
yeah.
that.
But
So
it's,
don't
but it's,
feel
but
sorry
the
for
smear,
Obama.
But no. But the smear campaign still exists.
That's right.
And that's what they.
But that's-
that was their agenda.
But the majority of the American people are not in a smear campaign and don't care for a smear campaign. But you have a minority of people that just drive you guys nuts. But the American people are stable,
They're not
secure.
driving me nuts.
But the ones at the Congress that resemble, I don't know,
But
Republicans,
they don't represent the majority of the American
the
people.
Republicans don't.
No, I'm talking about even those who
The
don't.
majority at the Congress right now are the ones that are causing the most problems, and what are they?
I don't know.
White males.
But that's
I'll say
okay.
it, white males.
And why shouldn't they be? They're the largest part of the population.
But they should not be
Not for
causing.
long.
Oh,
Well,
Not for doggone long.
here we go.
well.
Anyway.
Correct this. You have the last word,
No,
please, on that.
all I'm going to say is that we're talking about Boehner, and we're
Yeah.
talking about the fact that he is now going to be a part of history. And yes, they'll probably have pictures of him in the storybooks, the history books, crying. They'll have pictures
You ought
with
to see the
tears.
pictures on the internet.
Yes,
oh my God.
yes. And some of those tears, though, by the way, were
Real.
were happy tears, but there were also tears that he was moved by the
Pope.
by the Pope, because who knew? I didn't know he was Catholic until it was made known. Okay, Not that it makes a big difference, but again, maybe he was touched by something that he
And
said.
that could
it
be. Thank you.
resonated in
He's
his
touched all right.
yeah, for various reasons. But in that regard, he may
Right.
have been touched.
Yeah, and
And
that's
it
a
may
good
have,
point.
and it may
Good
have
point.
done
Good
something
point.
to him.
Yeah.
And that's how Americans are. They can be transformed. We don't live in such conditions that we have to be rigid in everything that we do. We have the resources in this country. We live better than anybody else in the world. We have a longer life expectancy. We have all the man-made devices that save labor. They're ours.
Yes.
We're projected for another 10 years in the next century. Instead of living 80 to be 85 for white women, they will live to be 95. Like life expectancy, if all goes well. And
What is
blacks,
black women?
is 75.
Oh, thank you.
No, it's 80. And white males are 80, and I think the black women have caught up with them.
Where is the black males?
He says 70.
Oh, bless his heart.
There's too many guns in this society.
Oh, wow.
No.
Imagine
how about high blood pressure, hypertension,
blood
and all
pressure.
these other things that happen
But
because
also,
of the lifestyle and eating and all the rest of that.
Okay,
Come on.
but really,
that's a whole nother topic.
we could be helped out by the lack of guns.
This has been a very wonderful conversation. I've enjoyed it immensely. But until next time, this is Ronald Berry Robinson and friends saying, stay focused.